Explain what has happened, you think, over the last, let's call it 3 months, and then, of course, the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Sure. Thanks for having me on. Back in December, when the market really bottomed, we started to see long-term kind of conviction investors begin to build significant positions in the kind of core digital assets, and that kind of gradually unfolded into Q2, where people kind of declared the crypto spring arriving. And really, I think what was happening was the sort of fundamentals of the technology have been advancing really, really rapidly. There's a broader understanding of crypto assets as an asset class. People could see that there were more retail and institutional platforms and regulatory framework coming into place. And then, ultimately, anticipation that these sort of next generation blockchains, including what we heard about last week with the Libra Association, really as indicators of what is ultimately going to be a massive mainstream phenomenon touching billions of people.
Okay, but Jeremy, explain this to me. Until and unless you tell me that there's going to be a true chain of custody and a true almost insurance program on Bitcoin, not on Libra or any of these other currencies, it is unclear to me how and when Bitcoin becomes this sort of universal adoption. I look at Libra, and I get the idea of all of these electronic wallets that'll get created by anybody who's got a Facebook account. I get that. But if that wallet doesn't allow me to keep Bitcoin or other like currencies in it, I don't really get this sort of mass adoption idea from it. And I'm not suggesting I'm a complete skeptic. I actually think Bitcoin's a fascinating and a very interesting phenomena, and may very well take over eventually. But I don't see what you're seeing at this moment.
Well, you have to really differentiate between a couple of things. There are many different types of digital assets and cryptocurrencies. You have sort of these stable coins, which
right.
Libra is an example of. U.S. dollar coin, which Circle and Coinbase issue, is another very prominent stable coin. Instead of a basket of currencies, it's a U.S. dollar coin. You have non-sovereign digital currencies, and there are quite a few. And obviously, the kind of dominant one is Bitcoin. And I think our view is that ultimately, end users, individuals, institutions are going to have kind of crypto finance accounts where they're able to hold lots of these different types of digital assets, and they're going to be able to send and receive all of them. It's not going to be a winner-takes-all model. Now, for sort of everyday payments that you need to denominate in your salaried currency or where you pay your taxes, we think that fiat or government-issued money based cryptocurrencies are going to grow in popularity. Governments are going to figure out ways to regulate the issuers of those, which is already happening. But at the same time, the Bitcoin thesis is very much that we are going to see continued growth in non-sovereign money.
Right.
And non-sovereign money is going to become more important, not less important, and that more people around the world are going to see the value of a censorship-resistant, highly secure digital asset such as Bitcoin.